Match number 32 of the Big Bash League features the Melbourne Stars and the Brisbane Heat. Let's build our fantasy team on my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPNcricinfo. I'm Raunak Kapoor and Tom Moody is all set to join me. Right, let's go to our pro tip and some information on the ground. The Carrara Oval in Queensland is the only venue where pace bowlers average over 30 this season. The number goes down to 26.5 for spinners. So make sure you've got enough good spinners in your 11. Tom, how does that sound to you?
Yeah, look, that makes a lot of sense to me, but you obviously got to have the quality of spinners. But I think in this particular contest for the likes of Zampa and Moody, you've got quality. So I'd imagine you'll have both of them positioned pretty high in your list.
All right, let's see where we feature those spinners. Do we give them any added responsibility as captain or vice captain, or do we reserve that for the batters? Let's find out. Before that, some news on player availability. And all players are available as of now from either side. That's the Heat and the Stars. But do check in closer to the toss for updated team news. On the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, as users would already know, you have 100 credits to build your fantasy team. 4 categories of players to choose from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounder. Every player's individual credit value is listed on the app. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any given contest. We'll also throw in 4 substitute options for you towards the end of this video. Glenn Maxwell is going to feature as our captain choice. He has at times looked in a league of his own while batting for the Melbourne Stars as their skipper. He scored more runs for the Melbourne Stars this season than anyone else. And he's already managed 255 runs in 6 innings, striking at over 150. At the Carrara Oval, he scored 238 runs in 4 games at a strike rate of 167, and he's not got out below 30 in this venue. So Glenn Maxwell looks a pretty solid captain choice. Vice captain option, Nicholas Puran. He is one of the hardest hitters of the cricket ball in modern day cricket. He's shown his capabilities this season already with that 26 ball 65. No big scores since that, but we count on Nicholas Puran to come good sooner rather than later. Glenn Maxwell is captain, Nicholas Puran is vice captain. They give you double and 1.5 times the points respectively, so pick them very carefully. In our top picks, Marcus Stoinis features. We are now seeing the best of Stoinis, the vintage Stoinis of last season. We saw that in recent times, and he is already at 196 runs in 6 games at a strike rate of over 160 this Big Bash. And he's been pretty good against Mujibur Rahman, 14 runs of 17 balls without giving away his wicket. Chris Lynn features. He's missed a lot of this season due to injury. Scores of 20, 69 and 30 in the games that he has been part of. Against the Melbourne Stars, pretty good record, 276 runs in 11 games, average of 34.5. And Joe Denley wraps up our top picks, the English top order bat. He's been a phenomenal player for the Sixers in the past, scoring 283 runs in 11 games at an average of over 35. And he started his career with Brisbane Heat on a positive note, recording his first 50-plus score in just his second game in pretty good time. Glenn Maxwell is captain, Nicholas Puran is vice-captain, Marcus Stoinis, Chris Lynn, and Joe Denley wrap up our top picks. Now, the way Stoinis is going, Tom, would you be tempted to put him higher up as captain or vice-captain?
Yeah, definitely. He's certainly one I'd consider as vice-captain instead of Nicholas Puran. He hasn't quite hit his straps yet, Nicholas Puran, and Stoinis is in a real purple patch at the moment. Maxwell I'd keep as captain because he does it both with bat and ball. Incredible form. Good to see Chris Lynn back and showing glimpses of form as well. So I think that top 5 is looking pretty strong.
All right, those 2 spinners that Tom Moody's already pointed out feature in our differential picks. Adam Zampa first up. He is Australia's premier spinner in white ball cricket. He's bowled particularly well in the Big Bash as well. In his last 4 games, he's picked up 8 wickets and was the best spinner in the league last season too. So Adam Zampa is a pretty straightforward pick whenever the Melbourne Stars play. Mujibur Rahman features as well. The Afghan spinner has produced the Brisbane Heat's best bowling figures ever with that 5 for 15 against the Hurricanes last week. And ever since his debut in the BBL 2 seasons back, he's been the most prolific spinners for his franchise, picking up 26 wickets in 24 games. Adam Zampa and Mujibur Rahman in our differential picks. Nicholas Puran is our recommended vice-captain and our keeper option. There's Max Bryant, Hilton Cartwright, Chris Lynn, Joe Denley, as well as Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis. Maxwell our captain choice, and you could consider Stoinis possibly as vice-captain if you want to go with Tom's gut. Mujibur Rahman, Mark Steckedy, Adam Zampa and Billy Stanlake wrap up some bowling options. There is Joe Burns, Nick Larkin, Liam Hatcher and Lewis Gregory on the substitutes bench. Maybe you could consider Joe Burns out of the test squad now as a replacement for Hilton Cartwright. I wonder if Tom Moody would be tempted by that in any way. Tom?
Yeah, I do like that. Joe Burns has had a horrid time, as we know, this summer in Australia. but he showed some form in the last game, got a great half century, and he looked like he found the middle of the bat again. So I'd be very tempted to put him up there, particularly given the role he plays for the Heat. So Burns for Cartwright is a good one. The other one to consider is Mujib in a captaincy or a vice-captaincy role. So you've got plenty to think about there, because Mujib is also in some real red-hot wicket-taking form.
All right, that's a nice left field pick as captain for vice-captain for Mujibur Rahman. Tom, thank you very much. Plenty more from you as the Big Bash continues to march on. Do check in with latest team news closer to the toss, and we'll be back with plenty more to help you build your fantasy teams on My 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPNcricinfo.